Hello, Professor. Good evening. This is my session for reflection. First question is identify and define the four options for risk response planning. Provide an example of when you used one of these options to mitigate risk, and did you reduce the risk? Well, the four options for risk response planning are to avoid the risk, transfer the risk, mitigate the risk, or accept the risk. Being in the military, oftentimes we just accept the risk because we have to. Like if we know that there's an enemy at a certain location, but we need to transport the supplies anyway, we need to weigh the risk of what happens if we decide not to go over there or if we stay. Either way, there's the possibility that something bad's going to happen. And when we do this, normally we do reduce the risk. Question 2, explain the difference between a contingency plan and a fallback plan. Provide an example of when you used each plan at work. Contingency planning is targeted at potential events that, if they do occur, they could negatively impact the project. So contingency planning, I've used this multiple times for, so hey, this person who is in charge of this, say they get hurt or they don't show up or something's wrong. We have another backup person for that. Now, like a fallback planning is directed to a known specific activity that could fail to produce desired outcome. So with this, if we know that if, say, this bulldozer breaks down, then our fallback plan is to go to a different company and use their bulldozer to help us accomplish our mission. Question 3, explain the difference between risk response plans and risk management plans. Risk response plans are pretty much ways to reduce or eliminate any threats to a project. So when you're doing a risk response planning, it's ways to get rid of the threats that are usually located in your risk management plan. So the risk management plan is a document that a project manager prepares to foresee risks, estimate impacts, and define responses to issues. So in the risk management plan is also where the contingency plans and the fallback plans should be held. What can you recommend when the cost of mitigation is greater than the cost impact of the risk? And if this were the case, I would simply accept the risk and find monetarily efficient ways to work around the risk. What mitigation actions did Nehemiah implement? Transfer of risk, risk acceptance, risk avoidance, or risk mitigation? I believe that Nehemiah used transfer of risk by involving all the key leaders around him. And I think he also accepted the risk because he knew that he needed to tackle the project no matter what the risk level was. That's going to wrap it up for session 4 reflection. Thank you.